Firefly Adventures.
Brigands and browncoats.
I aim to misbehave.
Let's do it.
All right, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
Today we are doing a review of Firefly Adventures.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like a miniature game, right? Dudes on a
Yeah.
there's no map. Well, I guess it's a map, but dudes on the table.
Right.
Take your turns, and we're going to give you our review of this.
Miniature battle descent.
Character campaigns. It's a co-op campaign game. So, but we're going to give you a review right up front, and then we'll spend the rest of this video telling you why we gave it that rating. And it's pretty simple. We do a buy it, play it, or hate it. Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it.
That's right. All right, ready?
Ready? And...
All right.
A green and a white.
You should have had a discussion about this one beforehand. Okay, so green. The reason I gave it green is for a multitude of reasons. First of all, it's a good miniatures game.
Okay.
You know, battling the way they set the system up to battle each other and so on. One of the things I just thoroughly think is just outstanding with the game is how they track time. Mm-hmm. So each individual, so it's not rolling initiative. Your initiative is by what you actually did before and how much time you took up within that amount, within a time frame. Mm-hmm. So I mean that to me is just outstanding the way that plays out. So as a miniatures game, you know, there's Descent, we play Imperial Assault, you know, all those are kind of the same, right?
Right.
And this kind of falls into the same thing. But the thing that this game stands out more is with the tracking system on how, you know, who goes first, second, third, and so on. Mm-hmm. And then also, I love these little containers for the buildings and stuff for this specific scenario, of course. But the miniatures are nice, so no, it's a green for me. Mm-hmm. Cost was cheap, so yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought, I guess this really comes down to what kind of a gamer are you. For me, why I gave it more of a white was it's just the dice. So you got to know that going in, that this is the result of what you do throughout the game is based upon how you roll. Right. And there are some ways for you to mitigate that by buying equipment cards and changing some of that. But still, at the end of the day, that's what tipped it to the white for me. Sure. But I also knew that going into the game of what kind of game it is. So this is not a red hate it, I'm not going to play this game, but it does fall into that play. You want to play this game? Yeah, let's pull it out, get a scenario going, and then we'll play it. So that's kind of where I'm at in this whole thing. It's not a bad game. It just is not for me. More of a Euro. I wouldn't buy it.
Now, there are two things about the game that I do have issues with. Mm-hmm. One of them is going to be the artwork itself.
You don't like this?
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. That just does not appeal to me.
I love it.
So that part of it, not so much when it comes to like the buildings and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's all fine. The miniatures are fine. But the actual drawings on here, and then we also talked about when you're at aggressive mode, how they decide heroic, and then when you're calm.
That's the same picture.
It's the same picture.
Casual. Heroic.
They actually give you different miniatures for it,
which is cool.
Yeah, which is I mean that's outstanding. But they have the same picture here. They have the background color is a little different. But so the art I have a problem with, and then the second one, which you need to go out and see my rant after this because I'm going to rant on it heavily. So you know what? Honestly, I'm just going to leave it for Rod's rant. So you go see Rod's rant on that part of it.
So there's a rant coming.
There's a rant coming.
Well, you got to tell them.
Okay,
right?
I'll tell you. Here's the deal. It's a half a game. They have given us no Alliance miniatures, and they've given us no Reavers. You don't have a spaceship type thing. It is. It's
just the desert,
right? It is half a game. Now the price isn't really expensive, so I don't understand. I have a hard time understanding why they just didn't give us a full game and charge us, the $60 that everyone else charges us. But the price is fair, but it is half a game.
Yeah, because I totally agree with that. Like, it's just you're on the planet moving around these buildings. Like, this is all that's in the box are these buildings.
Right.
And so all of the scenarios are going to be based around that. There's a dude in the building. There's a dude out of the building. Right. That's it. So it would have been awesome to have a spaceship. They're boarding the Firefly, or the Reavers show up, and you got to fight. Of course, you can't win, but but I don't know. I totally agree with that idea that there is more, and I'm sure that's expansions, right?
Oh yeah, But that's, anyway, that's another discussion. That's a rant.
That's a rant. So let's give you an overview of how the game plays, and then you get to decide if this is a buy it, play it, hate it for you. So the basic premise of the game is that everybody gets a character, and you start out on the casual side that has one set of parameters for you. And basically, this game all revolves around time. There's a time track that goes around the outside of the board, and everything that you do in the game takes a certain amount of time, and that's how turn order is chosen. So if whoever is at the back of the line, whether that's you, one of your fellow players, or whether it's a thug or a cowboy or some other non-player character, they go, and then whoever's at the back of the line, they take their action. So if you've got Kaylee and you say, I want to move, it costs you 2 time, and so then the next person goes. And then one other cool thing is there are stars at the end of each one of these time sections, and once an actual playing character crosses over that, it triggers a change in the story. Right. Someone rolls the dice, they read the pamphlet, and they say, this is what happened based off of how you rolled, which is kind of a cool concept.
Right. But you're playing the scenarios, and that just gives you a time within the scenario of things happening. So it just kind of outlines it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so every die roll that you've got could change how the game plays. So you come back and play this another time, roll something different. It could be the same scenario, but it changes.
Right.
There are 5 stories that come in this base game, and so you could play those in a campaign mode where you start out, and as you go along, you're going to get money paid off for every job that you do, and you can buy these equipment cards that then change. Or you could also pick up some of these cards when you open a chest or a crate or whatever they're called, and then so then you could get an item that then you go throughout the game. There are different kinds of skills checks that you could do, whether it's a tool check or whatever they call that, a mechanics check or a persuasion check. And so if you pass that test, it'll tell you what you have to roll on the die, and then if you pass it, you're going to get some kind of a reward. Now, they do something kind of different with the dice, where they have a firefly or a disgruntled symbol. And a lot of this artwork, by the way, pays homage to their other game in the Firefly world, just the Firefly game. So right. A lot of the artwork looks very similar, including this disgruntled symbol and the firefly symbol. But basically, when you're doing skills checks or fights or range checks, brawling, whatever, if you land on a firefly, it gives you the ability to roll another die. And for every firefly that you roll, that's a 6. And so you could continue to roll. Whereas the disgruntled, if you roll that, this is a fail. And so if you don't have a firefly to match up with the disgruntled, then you fail that check. Right. And so that's kind of an interesting way to do combat, to do skills check, all of that.
Right.
And that's pretty much the game. You're going to go through, it's objective based, so they'll tell you something that you have to do, but because of the little story mode and your dice rolls, it could change. So halfway through, it might be, I don't know if this is ruining it or not, but it might be a setup, and then everything changes and you just got to get out of there. Right. Or your objective could change as you go throughout, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Conan, because it reminded me of Conan in a lot of ways. But so the scenario base, so you'd have multiple characters within this map. We're all individually trying to do stuff, get stuff done within a certain time limit, and then get out of there, basically, off the board. Mm-hmm. And it played very, very well. I did enjoy the game a lot. I like the fact that they use these containers to give the 3D effect. Also, even the bottom of the box is actually a big room. That can be used on the map for whatever scenarios that are in there.
Yeah, it's really cool. So if you're into this, if you want to chunk some dice, run around the board, shoot each other in the Firefly world.
Exactly. Mal.
This could be your game.
Mal.
Jane, all that stuff.
Exactly.
They're in there. And there are a few characters that aren't in it,
right.
Which, back to your rant. But, expansions, here we come.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's our review of Firefly Adventures. If you want to check out some more of our reviews, we got them on our website, boardgamecloset.com. We also have a podcast where we talk about games that maybe we don't do videos of, so check that out if you're interested. And as always,
support your local hobby shop.
There you go.
Later.